Fated mate romance. Shadows of Discovery really hones in on the mate aspect in this book, and it has a man who will literally burn down the world for his mate. You're about to watch me read Shadows of Discovery by Brenda K. Davies. This is the second book in the Shadow Realms series. I'm honestly really excited for this book, and I do have pretty high expectations because it's the next one in the series. I really enjoyed the first one. I gave it 4 stars. It ended on such a great note, and I'm really excited for this second one. I'm really hoping there's going to be more character development, especially with Lexi's character, and I think that there's going to be a lot of focus on Cole's character because he's basically going to be doing these like trials, which I don't really know what they would look like, but I'm always a big fan of that kind of like thing that happens in books. And so he's doing the trials to become like the dark fae kin. And so that's going to be really cool because it's not really something he wanted, but it's something that he needs now because of what happened in the previous book. Now, I won't give you any spoilers about what happens in the second book. However, there will be mentions of stuff that happened in the first book, so you may want to check out that video first and then come on over here if you haven't. From my understanding, Shadows of Discovery is again following Cole and Lexi, but now with the death of the previous dark fae kin, Cole and his brothers are the dark fae kind of like next in line. But there's a lot of drama with the brothers because we know in the first book a bunch of them were killed and that there's 2 of them on the run and then 2 of them who are like deemed good in the eyes of like this Lord guy who's like our big bad guy. And so Cole is like determined to become the kin now so he can kill the Lord. And so Lexi is somehow involved as well. I think that she agrees to come over into the realm with him. But of course, like she has that big secret kind of looming behind her that she basically is kind of helping like these traitor people and giving them shelter and protecting them from the Lord, but she doesn't realize that Cole doesn't like the Lord, and so she's like kind of freaked out about it because she doesn't want Cole to like hate her or even kill her or whatever. So I'm really excited to see like what these trials are going to be like. I absolutely love when characters have to go through different trials and stuff. It's always so much fun. So yeah, let's read Shadows of Discovery by Brenda K. Davies. I'm a little bit more than 100 pages into Shadows of Discovery, and here are my thoughts so far. I'm really liking this one. I might actually like it more than the first one so far, just because I think like everything is just really cool, because the first book, there's a lot of really good setup and introduction to the world, and then now this literally takes place immediately after the events of the first book, which I think is really fun. And so it's really interesting to have these, again, these dual POVs with Lexi and Cole as they're both doing different things, and it's cool because although Lexi's character still is very flat to me, she is starting to round out a little bit more. And my prediction was correct in terms of her learning how to fight, because like if she doesn't know how to fight, like she can't really do anything. And I really like that she doesn't want to be like saved and protected all the time. She wants to be able to defend herself and stuff. So I like that. I also like kind of seeing some of the other stuff that her aunt can do. Sahira, she is like part witch, and she's really powerful. And so it's really cool to be able to see like these different kinds of potions that she can make, get some wisdom from her, see a little bit of her powers in action. And then similarly with Cole, as he's undergoing these trials to become the next Faekin, I'm obsessed with everything about that. The powers in this world had been hinted at in the previous book, but not really seen that much. Like it's really, you just saw like hand-to-hand combat. But now, at least for Cole's end, we get to see a little bit of his powers, a little bit of his magic, like what he can do in these trials, which is really fun. And then he's also there with other dark fae who also want to claim the throne, and it's like a bunch of drama because people don't want him to claim the throne because he's only half dark fae. And so like the full dark fae are like, we're gonna do this trial, but if he wins the trial anyways, like he'll become kin. That's kind of how the whole thing works. So I really enjoyed the first trial. I thought that it was really fun. It was really cool, kind of way to read something when it's like pure darkness, if that makes sense, because you're really tapping into other senses. And I love that. It's because like without spoiling, in the trial, you can't see anything. You just feel things, you can smell things, you can touch things, but you can't see anything. And so being able to read something from that perspective, I thought was really well done. So that was really fun. Also, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, how are Oren and Lexi not mates? I don't get it. He like teases her, they got the chemistry. He has a nickname for her. He calls her Kitten. Like, come on. There's gotta be something there. There's gotta be. Cause like, okay, Lexi and Cole they're fine together, but it's just like, they kind of were like, oh, you're really cool. You're really cool too. Let's date kind of stuff. But they didn't really have like that tension or that chemistry that as a romance lover I crave. But Lexi and Oren, Cole's brother, seem to have more of that kind of like build up going on. And so like I want them to be together, but I have nothing against Cole. I do like Cole, and I like that he's kind of scary sometimes. Like, sure, he's nice and sweet with Lexi, but he can be scary, especially what he did to the dragon in the first book. So it's interesting. I'm excited to see where it goes. So I will continue to read Shadows of Discovery. Again, I absolutely love this cover. It's so beautiful. And so I will update you around the halfway mark. So I will see you then. I'm now definitely more than halfway through Shadows of Discovery, and this book, I'm really, really liking it. Although the first one was more like action-oriented, I think that there's a lot of really great development and kind of understanding of what the world, and in this case one of the realms that they're in, the Gloaming, is all about, how the Dark Fae interact, kind of how the politics work in this world as well, and just like that little bit of magic that we're learning about. So good, so fun. The trials were honestly really, really great. This book can get a bit too gory, to be honest, but it was okay, I guess. Like, I think reading about it, the gore is always like, ugh, but it kind of makes sense for this book. I guess I was just a little bit surprised, but I mean, the way the first book ended, I should have expected it to get gory. But it's really cool to be able to see like the immortal Fae, the immortal characters in general, and going through the trials and the really like hard, difficult, painful stuff that they have to go through. And it kind of shows you their powers, how they think in tough situations, how their healing abilities work. It's really, really cool. And I love just the tie-in of all the different elements for the trials, and really just I was actually really surprised that the trials ended earlier than I thought they would, but they were really well done. And I mentioned this before in Shadows of Discovery when I was reading it, but Brenda K. Davies can really write a fight scene. Her fight scenes, hands down, really, really good. They are really well done. The creatures that we're learning about, the fights that are happening, it's really fun. And finally, Lexi learning how to defend herself, and also kind of trying to figure out, who is she? What does she want to do? Like, what does she care about? Because she herself had kind of stated that she's lived a simple life. She lived on a farm, she likes to read, and that's about it. So now she's kind of learning, what else does she like? What else is she interested in? How can she help? How can she contribute? What can she do to understand the politics and the ways of other worlds and stuff? So I'm excited for that to continue, but she still is a very bland character, unfortunately. But I mean, I'm still enjoying it nonetheless. So I'm pretty much at the part where we learn some cool stuff about the palace. And it's not exactly a spoiler, so it doesn't really count as a spoiler, but I really like the personality, I guess you can call it, that the palace has. That is so, so fun. It really does remind me of A Court of Silver Flames. If you know, you know. That's kind of the vibes of this, and I'm like, yes, yes, that's so much fun. I love that. So cool, very excited. So yeah, that's where I am so far. Those are kind of my thoughts so far. I'm excited to see where the rest of this book is going to go now that the main kind of like major events have happened. How is it going to continue? It's probably going to go in an unexpected direction like the first one did as well. And I want to know like how it's all going to relate back to the Lord and the dragons and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I'm going to continue to read Shadows of Discovery, and I will update you when I finish this book. So I will see you then. Okay, so I just finished Shadows of Discovery by Brenda K. Davies. We were having a reading party in the background, so that's what's happening there. And that ending, okay, I think all of her books are gonna have this type of ending where I scream. I think that this one was really, really, really well done. I think that the pacing was really good, the reveals were good, the different kind of perspectives from the other brothers now I think is really cool, because we got Brock and we got Oren's perspective as well. And so I'm really excited to see like where these other stories are gonna go, because now different characters are kind of like going to different realms and stuff. So that's gonna be cool. I'm excited. There's definitely some kind of foreshadowing happening with the dragons there, which I suspected in the first book, but it's starting to reinforce my potential thought about what's gonna happen with that. But then also that ending I did not expect, like at all. I honestly didn't think that would happen. And like, what does that mean? I don't know. And I'm really excited. I just ordered the third book, so I have to wait 2 days as it is to get the third book, and I'm really excited about it because I need to know what's gonna happen. And it's also really cool because we are getting very slow progression of Lexi's character development. She is starting to turn into a person. She's still not a very strong character. She's still like, again, very surface level, but there's more to her in this book than there was in the first book. So that I'm taking as a good sign moving forward, but definitely that's like the weakness in this book, is that Lexi's character is just eh. But the other characters like Oren and Brock and Cole and the Lord and all of this, I think those characters are really, really interesting. Even Sahira for a little bit, like she's not as interesting, but I mean, she's kind of cool because like she can do all this magic stuff. So I feel like we're gonna learn more about her probably in the third book, just the way that the second book ended off. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and like what kind of character she is, because she's been in the background a lot and now I feel like she's finally coming to the foreground. So looking forward to that, as well as just like the other characters' stories and where it's gonna go, and I'm excited. The spicy scenes in this book are also a lot better than I would say in the first book. The first one, I felt that the author was a little bit shy maybe in terms of like the spicy scenes, but starting to kind of see a little bit more in this book now, which is fun. And I think that they're in really good spots. It's like you get a spicy scene, but if there's more like kind of plot driven stuff happening, it's a little bit more glossed over. So I think that those are good. I still think though that that Lexi and Oren would be better together just because of like the chemistry they have. And I have a bit of like a red flag warning going off for me, like regarding Cole and just like how unstable he is. So we'll see if that amounts to anything in the rest of the books. But yeah, I got a bit of a warning flag with him, and I've learned from Tamlin to trust these red flags, these warning flags. So I will be awarding Shadows of Discovery a total of 4 stars. I had a good time reading this book. I think the series is pretty unique, to be honest. I like how surprised I am. I like the cool world. I really appreciate the way that everything's handled, and I think it's really cool that this is self-published, which is also really good because it's really well done. I am really excited for the third book. So while I wait for the next book to come in the mail, I will be reading People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Now, I've been kind of like flip-flopping, it seems, this month of going between Emily Henry and then doing Elsie Silver, and then I'm over here with Brenda K. Davies. Just kind of the vibes, you know, I just go with the vibes. And I have a lot of books that are just kind of chilling in my library. So yeah, this is what I want to read next because it looks summery. I know that I got tricked though when I read Beach Read, because I thought that it was going to be like a beach summertime vibe, but it wasn't. But hopefully maybe this one is. So that's what I'm looking for. I want a beach summertime vibe, and I'm hoping People We Meet on Vacation will be that. So if you're interested in watching me read People We Meet on Vacation, Shadows of Betrayal, which is the third book in the Shadow Realm series, the next book in the Elsie Silver Chestnut Spring series. I just got that one yesterday as well, so that will be added to my queue of books that I'm reading. I also bought Mistborn finally, so there's a bunch of cool books. So if you're interested in watching me read any of those books, definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. If you're a big fan of reading parties, look what's going on in the background here, definitely hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!